One. I don't like that.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Yeah. There we go. What's going on, y'all? Welcome to the Pulp Experience, guys. We have another great episode for you guys today. Episode 275.
Ooh.
And it only makes sense to have the woman of the hour. Yeah, I said it. Yep. Miss Melissa Santana.
Woo,
Come on our podcast and talk about her journey. Yes, talk about her awesome podcast. Talk about just an awesome woman that she is. So thank you for coming on today.
Thank you.
Thank y'all. I appreciate it. Oh, okay, come on, sound effects.
Oh, yeah.
Don't worry, it's more to come.
Oh,
Okay, good.
Y'all already know we got Miss Brittany, with us tonight. We got Steve in the building behind the camera doing his 1, 2, and we got Michelle Louise over there.
Hey.
So y'all know we're in for a good episode.
That's right.
So listen, Melissa.
Yes.
We like to start from the beginning. Because all journeys have a beginning.
Right. Amen.
So Cleveland born and raised.
Absolutely.
Oh.
That's all
Okay.
I've known.
So you had to represent a hood. What hood we represent?
St. Clair Superior.
Oh,
Okay.
Yeah, actually. Yeah. Oh,
Okay.
yeah, down for show.
Okay, listen, I wasn't expecting that one.
Me either, actually. I was
Yeah.
expecting less.
Okay, but that's the first part, right? So, like,
Okay.
I am Puerto Rican, and yes, primarily other Puerto Ricans. I also used to confuse people at school because they're like, you know, live on the west side. Like, I thought that's what Puerto Ricans do. But no, my mom still has a house on Superior, like, to this day. So,
Mm.
like, oh, yeah.
Cool.
Oh, yes. So, yep.
Okay.
My visitor after this. But,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay.
Awesome.
Yes.
You got your roots grounded in there.
Yeah, you already know,
Alright.
absolutely.
Awesome.
I ain't going band on.
There we go.
That's
Okay.
it.
And shout. Okay. And like, we're gonna talk about a couple things today because I want to talk about the dynamic of Puerto Ricans, Black people, Hispanics alone, because especially during this troubled time.
Yes.
We'll talk on that a little bit later.
Right.
But with that being said, growing up in Cleveland, and as anyone knows in Cleveland, it's the west side and the east side. Why you bring it up?
Yeah.
Because I didn't know until going to school on the west side. It's the honest truth. I didn't know they're the differentiations.
Yeah.
They're Dominicans.
Yeah.
They're Venezuelans. They're
Absolutely.
Puerto Ricans. They're
Mm.
Mexicans. I'll never forget. I was in school and this girl, she was very dark skinned, and I was like, "Hey, what's school? Where's homeroom at?" And she spoke Spanish, and it threw me off. I wasn't exposed to that on the east side.
Yeah, no, I did.
No, I didn't know or whatnot. And I just love the fact that going to school on the west side exposed me to different cultures and different ethnicities other than my own. And whatnot.
Yeah, absolutely.
So let me ask you this: we're growing up in Cleveland, and you're growing up in Cleveland, growing up down the way or whatnot. So let's talk about your experiences down the way.
Oh man, so I would definitely say, I think I learned early on, I definitely fell in love with Cleveland forever. Because, when it's home, you know what I'm saying? Like, you always gonna feel that. I have gone to many places. Like, I got friends in Cali, Atlanta, you know what I'm saying, all over. But I mean, it doesn't feel the same. You know what I'm saying? When you come back here and I feel that safety, that security is what raised me, it's what like developed me.
Come on now.
You know what I'm saying? Molded me into who I am. So like I have love for the city for sure. And it's also like a family member. Like you've literally seen it struggle. You've seen it have some great moments. Like I feel like no, it's definitely like and you want to see it win. And so that's where I'm at. I'm like, no, put the city on. You know what I'm saying? I felt like it deserves it. And I think it was awesome that you even said that like the West Side gave you that introduction to diversity. Because I feel like we even have some gems of like institutions. So we got like Lincoln West Global Studies.
Come on now.
We got like some really dope like educational play and people that are like teaching really great like introductions to diversity. So like we are a melting pot for sure, and we have a lot that's on there, but we have a lot of places that showcase that.
We all work through with that also.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm going to talk about that part. But and then on top of you always been educated, by the way. You always have been educated.
No.
We'll talk about
Me?
it. Yeah. And like I know Melissa says, well, how old we were young.
Babies. Yo, babies in the game.
Yeah. I'm
way back, huh?
So yeah, we go way back.
Okay.
So back in the day,
Right, story.
story time, right? So me being the academic genius I was asked to be part of this program, and we were ambassadors
Yes.
for the Great Lakes Science Center.
for the Science Center.
Yes. And
Yeah.
what we did is that we went to places like Garden Valley.
Yeah.
Friendly Inn.
Yeah.
All these places that, were people of who needed help or just wasn't have access to certain programs, and we went and we mentored young children and whatnot, in science, academics and whatnot. It was very rewarding.
Yeah, it was. It was incredible.
It was incredible and whatnot. And I got a chance to see firsthand Melissa, being an educator back then. And she's been an educator ever since.
I have loved it though. Yeah. It was like our first introductions to like leadership, but then we also had to do like a little bit of curriculum, like knowing how to be flexible, and then you gotta also like as you were mentioning. So this was like underprivileged areas, but it's also at the end of the day people that like spice. You know what I'm saying? Like, let's just be clear.
I like how you said that.
Like spice. Exactly. So if
I'm like, get down, Devontae, get down. What you doing? For the project, man.
That part, and if we weren't able to captivate them, they was like, "Come on, man, y'all serious?
Yeah.
Don't come back."
Facts.
So we needed to know how to engage them, with science. So like, it was a dope experience.
No, I didn't think about that. You right. Yeah. Wow.
Man, y'all had a double challenge.
Yeah,
That's
like
a lot.
for real. And we kids too, though. So we're
right. We're still
all right, we don't know,
innocent.
but we're gonna figure this out together, y'all. Like, you have no idea. But it was such a great leadership opportunity for sure.
Absolutely.
I loved it.
So let's talk about that, because I mean, okay, so you've always been in a mode of leadership. Let's talk about the journey, because in school, growing up, you're coming up. What high school did you go to?
I went to Cleveland High School. Well, no, Success Tech Academy. I currently work at Cleveland High School for Digital Arts. So I almost said that first, because the interesting thing is my high school no longer exists. So yeah, what's up with the reunion? But I'm a class of 07. What's up? Stand up.
Okay.
Yeah. And everything and then some. Jerry, also another podcaster. He went to Success Tech as well.
Okay.
But we definitely went there, and it is awesome to work. So it's the same building, but it's a totally different school. Like it's a totally different place. So it's interesting to be back, but like not, you know what I'm saying, the same. But yeah, I went to high school there. I was around in a lot of programs like you mentioned, and like apart from that, even Cleveland Clinic. Like I remember being part of the internship program that Cleveland Clinic used to offer, and all of those things. So I feel like from the beginning, I was like, whatever is available for students to help us like develop, I want to be a part of that.
Come on.
So like, let's do it. Please sign me up.
No,
You're right.
And like listen, I live 114 miles, and I remember I think I was part of the same program where Cleveland Clinic, Western Reserve, and in the Cleveland Museum, they had given internships to be part of this program, to be able to shadow these people. But I don't lie to you, it was summertime. We just try to kick it.
Right.
Be down the entire city. So, word advice, kids: take advantage of the programs.
Yeah, for real.
And pay attention.
Yeah, it was a great way to get paid though. Like
it was.
Yeah, it was. It was a great experience. And I actually, what's crazy is I actually got salty because I tried to apply for like the McDonald's, like the traditional stuff, and I don't know if I must have not put the right things, or I don't know what I was doing. Yeah, I mean, I guess. But that sometimes it's frustrating to hear though, when you hear the overqualified situation. You like, I mean, okay, but I still want this chance though. Like, and what's gonna be the bills right now? Like, I hear that and it's flattering, but I need something, to make ends meet. But I did love that there was opportunities like that really did like help, students of all kinds, really. And they are invaluable and they do exist. They look different now, but I do think that like I would love for more students to know like that we have what we have now, like Artworks, for example, like the Center for Arts Inspired Learning. Like there's actually a lot of programs. There's some programs that are teaching kids instruments for free.
Come on.
You know what I'm saying? So like, they have music inspiration program. Shout out to Mr. Woody. Hey. But like they do all these great things. And even I went to his play recently where he was directing the play for Lacey. So she's one of our great artists.
Shout out to Lacey.
Yeah, she's so good. And like, and he's also himself is like a filmmaker. So he was at our school doing that, but now he's doing all this program directing, and he still comes back to the school and tells students about this. So that's why I'm like, I want to see more kids like do that.
So listen, kids, as you're watching this, do us a favor and take advantage of these great programs, because the one great thing I'll say about while you're young and you take advantage of these things, it literally sets the stage for later on in life.
Absolutely. Yes, it does. Yes. And like the kind of things that you can do, and then like also what kind of skill sets you can really build. And you being able to know that you could do that early on is like there's no message then like afterward that could really threaten that.
Yeah.
You know, once you know, like, so once we learned from the beginning that like you could throw anything at us, because these kids was deep too though. That's the other thing. It was a lot. Like they were like, oh cool, you guys are gonna like come teach, you know, today. Okay, cool. We're just gonna put everybody in there. So like we're like, dang. So we had to do like, so now y'all want us to do classroom management, you know what I'm saying, and engagement, and make sure we don't blow nothing up, because you know we doing science experiments, trying to be cool with it. Like, so it was a lot, but we took that. I took that far. So like, I'm sure clearly you have too, sir.
It showed me I don't want to deal with kids. So I will say I did learn a lesson, and I had a grace. No, and once again, shout out to all educators, all those who deal with children and whatnot, because you have a special grace that which I do not have. I may want to deal with adults, you know, but I learned that, you know, that kids other than my own, only kids I want to deal with.
Oh yeah, you ain't getting out of that one.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
Right.
But with that being said, and I'm glad, let's bring it back to you, because it developed something inside of you, because those stepping stones kind of led to where we are now. So let's talk about that journey and whatnot. Because okay, so high school, and when did you say, okay, this is what I want to do going forward in life?
So I would definitely say like in high school, what I remember is whenever we had those like personal statements and like things that you had to do as far as like, what is your life goal going to be? I remember always saying like, I want to eventually run some kind of like nonprofit. I had no idea. Like I was like, I do remember
that back then.
I do remember that. I do. So you know what I'm saying? So
I didn't know what a nonprofit was back then.
Yeah, I mean, and I don't remember what sparked. You know, like I'm sure we was researching different things. But I remember saying, and I love it because I'm seeing that ripple effect with my babies, because my oldest was saying like, well, I want to be a CEO. I was like, excuse me, ma'am. So I just love knowing like, come on, baby, you gonna do that because you deserve it. So like, she's like, I don't even know. I just know whatever company it's gonna be, I'm gonna run it. Like, and I just love seeing that ambition from the beginning, because that was something that took a while for me. I did say that. I did say nonprofit, that I definitely want to assist people. I want to like help them on their journey. I knew I wanted to like help others, but I also wanted to be the person helping others, because I was quiet and I needed somebody to help me. So like I wanted to like be there for somebody else. So it did take me a while. I really feel like I actually honed my voice more in college for sure. Like and so the college for me was a really great experience too. Like that's also something I know not everybody does, and I know it's not always in it, and I don't think it's for everybody. But I do think I learned a lot outside the classroom. Like it was not what I learned in the textbooks. I'm talking about I learned about me. I also took some of our little like baby organizing, you know what I'm saying, that we did at, you know, Science Center. Like I remember, you know, creating a club. So like I went to Hiram, and we loved Hiram College, and love me some Hiram.
Okay.
But it is PWI, which means predominantly white institution. So you know. The people, you know, we found our community and our niches, but I definitely saw a need with Latino students. And so I made this club called Hola. So it was like known for Hispanic Organization for Latino Awareness. I was like, oh, I'm killing it. I thought it was so cool. Yes. And I'm like, this about to be so easy to recruit people, because they're going to be all over this. You know what I'm saying? We can like eat rice and beans and talk about real stuff. Like we about to kill this. So then I remember being really taken aback, because I would go to ask people about it, and some people wanted nothing to do with that. And those are the people that I'm crossing paths with now that were full-blown Latino, but they had completely assimilated into the white culture, and I didn't know. And then you want me to join a club and show that we're not, that's not what I want to do. So I thought it was going to be Time out.
So I'll make sure I heard you right.
Yeah, please. Yep.
So, because we see it too often. I'm not gonna lie to you.
Yeah, we do.
And I ain't say we see it in all cultures. Unfortunately, where people say they think that if I assimilate to this culture, we're not gonna say which one.
Right.
That it makes me seem like I'm better off, or I'm better because of it.
That's good.
Not gonna make it different. They still see you can't change skin color.
Yeah, that's right.
You cannot.
You cannot.
Not for real. Whether you try or not.
Wow, I thought it was us that did that.
Well, yeah, exactly. So and that's why I was like, I was too. So I was like dumbfounded by that, because I'm like, why would you not want to be? You know what I'm saying? You want to rep this? Like, so I thought that, and because I saw it as like community for us, but also like a safe space.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? For us to be able to sound off and then come together. So like, it ended up, so that name that I gave it, Hispanic Organization for Latino Awareness, that awareness piece became all of it. I ended up having to just spin and be like, all right, so now I guess I'm going to use it as a chance to educate people about Latino culture. When I thought it was just going to be us kicking it, like all Latinos on campus. It was insane. I did learn a lot though, because in the process, I did learn that people were very interested in like what they had to do, and they always forgot that I was like Latina. So like, my thing is, no, for real, no lie. I do remember going to like this college cookout, and I mean, and it was great because like now race wise, I'm an Afro Latina, so I do, you know, so as a result,
I'm sorry.
Yeah, please.
You gotta explain Afro.
Okay, Afro
you know,
Latina.
Brittany was like, "What's up with that?"
So what you got, Brittany? You ain't rocking with it?
We just gonna roll with it, girl.
Okay.
Sure.
I believe
about it.
Okay, I believe that we do have African lineage, so and I think that should be acknowledged.
But tell me,
And so-
I'm sorry, Melissa, because I'm sorry, because
Yes,
I've dated,
sure.
Puerto Rican.
You didn't know which one.
Right,
You
right,
was
right.
like,
I
we
know,
gonna
right?
get there.
And
Cool.
let me tell I want to tell a story. So I was married to a Puerto Rican Cuban woman,
Okay.
and unfortunately, her grandfather did not like the fact she was dating a black man.
Okay.
So
Yeah,
whenever I
sure.
came around him, I had to say I was Dominican.
Okay.
And if anyone who's Dominican, Dominicans look more like us as black people because, and I'm with you. It all depends where that boat landed, what you look like, right?
Yep. That part.
And I'm not, and this is just me saying my story. I did not know racism was so deep in the Hispanic community or whatnot.
Yes, it really is.
And I'm like, oh, okay, all right. I was taken back from it because I'm like, I know we racist in our community. We like light skin, black skin. I'm like, I didn't know it was. I did not know that.
No, I agree. And then and actually that's interesting that you use the Dominican because then I come across to some folks as racially ambiguous. They don't necessarily know. So like is she mixed? Is she some? They see the curls. Like I don't know immediately get Puerto Rican. Like not everybody immediately like guesses that. But when they find out that I'm Latina, they're like, okay, so Dominican, right? Like it immediately goes to that. Yeah. So my only thing is like, okay, I get why. You know what I mean? Because they do have melanin. You know what I'm saying? In these people. But it's like they're not the only ones.
Right. Come on now.
So like it's just we need to know that that's actually
That's
it
awareness
goes beyond
piece.
that.
Yeah, I would just
but that's what it
say
is.
that's what
Yeah.
it is.
Exactly that part, and I realized that. And Puerto Rico is interesting for us to not know more about it because it's there, it's close by, but it is a U.S. territory, and some people don't even know that. They think like they're like, oh, I gotta get my passport. Yes, and I'm like, nah, we can actually just hop on a plane. We have that privilege, and it is a privilege. So that too, like as I'm all navigating Latino spaces, I would never want to like negate that. You know what I mean? And say, because I mean, even right now in our political climate, there are a lot of immigrants that are very scared. You know what I'm saying right now, and it's like, and as a therapist, because that's a whole nother world that we haven't even. But like, I am having these real conversations with people that, of course, shouldn't be feeling this way, but they do. You know, and it's like it's not fair to them, especially when I feel like they have rights to be here. We got places that are literally Spanish, y'all. Like Los Angeles is Los Angeles. That is not an English term. You know what I'm saying? That's a Spanish term. There was people exactly. People were here first, but you know it's cool because you know America, little bullies. But you know, but as we learn about that, but even that, and so like sometimes I have had those conversations with Latinos that are like, but I hope you understand like the privileges you have, and I'm like, no, you're right. I also just want to make sure that you know that we're not above abuse though. We've been abused as well. We've also been mistreated, and so like that's the part I can relate to.
Yeah, come on now.
Exactly.
And I want to go. I want to talk about the Afro-Latina part because a lot of people don't understand.
Bernie's favorite topic.
Yeah.
Right. Apparently, I don't know nothing.
Because like I'm not gonna lie to you, I didn't know the term existed until I want to say maybe 10 years ago or whatnot. I didn't know.
No, I do agree.
Existed. Yeah,
that is true. Yeah.
And a lot of people, and once again, back to the word because I was at work and someone was like, "What's Latinx? What's the difference between it?" Like these are terms that a lot of mainstream people don't know or not aware of.
For sure.
The difference between them.
That is an excellent point because, and I agree. And the thing is, okay, so as language continues to evolve, I do feel like we also have trends that we pick up on. So like, I agree. I think it did come across to some because it's a newer term that some people are just adopting it. I will make sure that I acknowledge that, right? So I do think there are some that probably do it like that. So they take it on for size and they also use it as a costume, but they're not also like supporting causes that go behind it. So, you know, I do agree that happens. I'm not, I ain't trying to do that. But I feel like, but I see it occur like more than once. And I do agree with the that Latinx, man, that's a big thing because Latinos, I do like to use the word Latino community because as a Spanish speaker, like as a native Spanish speaker, the term is Latino. Like at the end of the day, Latin is like denotes like Latin, like Latin America, whatever, like the language, whatever. But Latinos are Latinos. And actually, it's a very patriarchal language because when you're in a group of people, like if it's a mixed, even though we're mixed gender, they would say angels. So they would say like it's a masculine group. They would denote it to you. And you only one guy. You know what I'm saying? We actually went out here, but they wouldn't see it that way. We would all just be a masculine group. So like it is. So a lot of Latinos don't like that, and so they were like, "Ain't nobody trying to, I don't like that everything becomes gender."
Yeah.
That's where the X really came from.
Wow.
Yeah, let's
Come
take
on
a
now.
stand. Yeah, let's take a
We
stand.
educate you on the educators, Miss Melissa. Okay.
Get the notes on. We didn't say academic.
Yeah. Right.
We promised. Right. Yes.
No,
So,
listen, did not know that because, like I said, and shout out to the corporations that are trying to be inclusive.
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
trying to corporate. Because I'll give it to the corporation I work for. They have different groups for different, and they're trying.
Yeah,
Now,
keyword. Yeah,
they're trying.
We gonna give them that. Yeah, but we gonna aim for effort.
They're aim for effort and whatnot. And like I said, I'm like, okay, and they're using the terminology, probably not knowing the reason why, because I didn't even know the reason why.
Yeah.
Why that's significance of it all, but we're getting there.
Yes, and you know what to add. So since we're saying that, so I'm actually one of the Latinos though that doesn't like Latinx though. The one I like is Latina. So like so there's another term and that also came out newer, and so like it ends with an E, and then it just because gender is kind of like a spectrum, and there's a lot of people that, and my only thing is Latinx is kind of like how I feel about Xmas. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, usually if you if you really celebrate Christmas, then, you know what I'm saying? For some of us, it is about Christ. And so, like, try to put the X on that, what you trying to, you know what I'm saying?
We're talking about Jesus on here.
Yeah, there you go. You know what I mean? But if you put the X on that, you're saying, you're taking out a very important piece.
Wow.
So to me, I can also see it as also exclusion, some. To me, I just don't like seeing that part. So I thought, and a lot of us have adopted the term Latina, because we actually think it's more inclusive versus Latinx.
Okay.
Yep.
Listen,
I'm new.
I'm going to work. I'm like, excuse me, y'all. We're not using that over here.
Right,
We don't use it over here. Okay? You want to know why?
Pretty much. Well, Santana says.
Right.
Exactly.
So, no. And once again, shout out to you because, once again, you bring awareness and whatnot. Because, I mean, like I said, some people, they mean well. And I feel like the ignorance that we're seeing now is because there's an awareness.
Yeah, I agree.
And I think that being aware and being knowledgeable on these things can help out with where we're currently going. Sure. In some cases, okay?
Yeah, that's true. Right. No, absolutely.
Because we have those who are willfully ignorant.
Yeah. And they're not trying to rectify that. I agree. And even now, like, so to be honest, I mean, not to call you out, but to call you out. So, like, but to call you out. But I actually like that, like, okay, for example, the resistance that you showed to the term. I think that's good. Like, we need to, like, kind of lean into that and be like, and you should be able to say it. You should be able to call somebody out, including myself. Like, actually, no. It makes me uncomfortable. Like, I don't like knowing that, like, what you just gonna just use that for now. You know what I'm saying? Are you actually gonna care about Black issues, or are you just saying it because it sounds cool? Like, what you're doing. So, like, I think we should be able to have those. And I think, yes, it's definitely ignorance, but it's also some people don't like conflict at the end of the day. And I think they like avoid it. And so like, I mean, let's just keep it cool, y'all. Like we're just, getting along, but it's like,
vibing.
Yeah, exactly. Good vibes. And that's why that toxic positivity is like, I mean, that's cool. There's
toxic positivity. Write that down. That might be tired episode right there. I don't know. I like that.
Yeah, and you could please use it because I do think yes, I mean, of course we should have positive thinking. You know what I mean? Of course we have positive perspective, but we go ignore that there's stuff that makes us feel negative. You know what I'm saying? So like, and that's what makes it toxic. It's like but you're not acknowledging the things that also make me not feel positive. That's where I come in. Therapizing.
They're right. We'll get into that.
I made that one up, y'all. Don't add that one to our glossary. Yes.
Too late.
Right.
And so I got a question. So with that being said, okay, and with you having dual citizenship, not dual citizenship, but you being Latina and being a Black or whatnot, when there's certain issues coming about, do you feel even more grievous, or do you feel more sympathetic to certain issues because you have?
Okay, that's an excellent question. Okay, so I would say, and you know what's funny is, so I made this episode last year, during Black History Month. So I went in, and I'm not gonna lie, you know what I'm saying? Feel free to watch. You know what I mean? Let me know what you think. But I did go off, like low key for like an hour. And I remember like on TikTok, like people was like, "Oh, you seem kind of angry for a therapist. Like you going on?" Yes, child. That was some of the feedback that I got, and I was like, "I'm sorry, but I feel like if you're not angry, you're not paying attention." Because like,
That's title. Not angry, you're not paying attention.
Yeah, because I'm pissed. Like I'm sorry, but like I do give a damn, and I feel like we should care more. We should. And I just think that in my case, I just feel like my black roots come from Puerto Rico. That's just how I feel. Like, just like there's some black that is Jamaican, there's some black that comes from other spaces. And that's just how I feel. But I also just feel like as a result, you know what else was, so when the Black Lives Matter movement came out, I saw a lot of like people say Latinos for Black Lives Matter, and I felt like to me that was still divisive. I was like, no, it should just be Black Lives Matter. I don't need you to put the little disclaimer like Latinos for. No, Black Lives Matter, period. Wherever the hell they came from.
That's right.
Like, period, point blank. And like, and I've even had, so like my father, my biological father, he like was a bus driver, school bus driver. He got called the N-word. Nobody was like, oh, but actually you Puerto Rican, so I probably should've called you that. Yeah, my bad. No, you different.
Right.
Yes, which is why it's also like the brown thing is interesting to me. So like, I get it, you know, especially like I feel like Mexicans especially like really like being brown, you know what I mean, in that, and it's this difference. But I heard someone say, okay, I would love to quote you if I knew, you know, who was the one that first said it, but they was like, be careful using the word brown when you really want to say black. So like, you know, like you just using it as a way to escape that, but it's like if they black, they black though. Like we just say that. We just trying to, you know what I mean, we're trying to other it.
You're trying to differentiate.
Yeah, and it's like, but no, actually, asterisk, and I don't feel like no asterisk. It is what it is, and those lives need to be protected, like no matter what. So like no matter what.
Okay. Look, I want to make sure we'll get up there.
Oh yeah, of course. Yeah. I forgot. I was like, what we talking about?
Okay.
So college, okay.
Yeah, for sure.
College, and then when you're bringing awareness to people. When did you decide on this is my major, this is what I want to do going forward?
Oh, absolutely.
All that good stuff.
Oh yeah. Excellent question. So in college, I majored in psychology. So I did love the study of people. Like, I just didn't know that psychology was real scientific, y'all. Like, it's a lot more tests and things. Like, they're assessing people. And I just really like people. You know what I'm saying? Like, interacting with people. So, like, you know, feeding off the energies. What I really found out was I love sociology. So it's more that. And I minored in it only because I arrived at it too late. I feel like it's really what it was. So, like, I was already so deep in the major that it's like, yo, if I make that switch now, I'm getting 5 years in this game. And Hiram, that's a private school. So, you know, I'm just going to say price tag was not, you know what I mean? Jesus. Yeah, so like, loans, student loans, you know what I'm saying? All these things. So I was like, no, I did stick with that, but I was like, let me minor in it so I can still take all these great classes, had tremendous professors. I know Dr. Anisi is there now, but like, you know, I had Dr. Pittman, like all these great people. So like, they really like lit my fire about like learning about people. I'm like, whatever I'm doing, I need to be around people. Like, I definitely feel like it's this community aspect. I need to be interacting with them, you know, leading with them. But then I actually, after college, the first experience was Teach for America. So I actually, and here's the thing. So Teach for America, I didn't finish the program, so I can say this. But so like, it was a program for our country. So like, there was elements of that we were like, kind of like helping, like kind of like the Peace Corps. Like there were some elements of like, we're here to kind of like save and help out. And I think there were some people in there that were amazing, that really had their heart in the right place. But then there were a lot of people that were just like gonna go to law school later, and this was just like a nice break for them. Yeah, like let me educate some kids. Let me look like I'm doing some service, you know, before but it's really just a bump up. So like, you know, there was different folks in it, but I do think at its core, it wanted to educate more people, which of course, you know, I'm down for that. You know, that's my jam. I'm like, I'm all about the education. So, and that is what drew me to the program. So like, and when I was in it, I taught Spanish. And so yeah, that was like fascinating to even, because then that's the other thing. As somebody who speaks Spanish, I don't mean I know how to teach it. I still get tripped up. The accents, I don't know where they go. Y'all be kind of just trying to like, you know how you use autocorrect? I be trying to like, come on, Google, where you at? Like, where does it go? You know what I'm saying? And then like, and even though I just told you like that masculine, feminine thing, no, there's some words like dia, which ends in an A. So you would think it's a feminine word. You're supposed to say el dia, not la dia. So why are we doing that?
My 10th grade Spanish be kicking in every once in a while. Yeah. And I'll be like, okay, the action need to go right here.
Yeah, but it don't always.
It don't always.
But it's like English too, though, because we got some silent letters for no reason. Like, why are we doing that? It's not connected.
I never thought about that.
Yeah, and it's just rules that we don't, you know, and we just gotta be like, just roll with it. Yeah, figure it out. Like, and we are telling people, learn that one, the complicated language. That don't make no sense. Pick that one. So I did that, but I did love that. So I was like, okay, education is definitely where it's at. I love the awareness piece. I was talking to the students about diversity. I do remember like, it started to ignite that fire. But then but at the time, they didn't have Teach for America in Cleveland. I would have like jumped at it. They had it in, they took me to Detroit. So, you know what I'm saying? I was in, and it wasn't the trenches. We were downtown, you know what I'm saying? We was by 8 Mile, you know what I'm saying? What's up, Eminem? Yeah, I got to see it. I see what he was rapping about. I get it now.
Time out, because I question, live in Cleveland prepare you to be in Detroit, or
Yeah.
Detroit a whole different?
No, you know what? Okay, yes, it is a great question because I was about to say. So I think a lot of other people were culture shock where I wasn't, but I did think that their way that they put on, like their pride, you know what I'm saying, was a little bit more. I was like, damn, we could kind of learn from this because you know, like Detroit is like, I mean, you got Hitsville, you know what I'm saying, you got the Ford plants, like you got, but it was just a lot of like pride that I did not see, you know what I'm saying? And their culture was just exuding in a way that I was like, dang, Cleveland, I kind of need y'all, you know, get a little bit of this. Like, it just felt like we could have a little bit of that. But no, like, I would actually say, nope, it prepared me perfectly. I was like, oh, no, like, this like Cleveland to me.
Right,
and they're segregated too. So, like, yep, they have their pockets of Mexicans, they have their pockets of this. And, like, and maybe not east side, west side, but they had north, south, they had all that.
Wow.
So, yeah, so I was like, oh, shoot, okay, well, I'm on the west side. So, like, it's cool. Like, pull up. Like, I know exactly where I'm at. So it did. Like, it was definitely helped me perfectly to know. But I did always want to come back to Cleveland. So that was my thing. I was like, I know I want to come back. And I worked for Esperanza, which was also another great organization. And what's funny is I went back to our roots. So, like, I was doing after school programs. So, you know, I was like, oh, shoot, I'm home. I know this. Like, what's up, friendly? Exactly. Like, I'm back, y'all. So, like, I definitely was able to apply that. So I did that. I did also go to Hiram for a little bit. Because they wanted me to do like diversity initiatives and all those things. But then the real biggest one was, since Hiram took me away from Cleveland yet again, my introduction back again was the Rape Crisis Center. So that is where like education was always there. Like I always knew I wanted to educate false awareness. But when you work for a place like the Rape Crisis Center, that's a humbling. It took me. I was like, wow. I'm like, yeah. And burnout, it was real. Because I mean, you read your police reports, you know what I'm saying, of stuff on a regular basis. Then you're like seeing the people behind the paper. You're like, I'm taking them to the police station, you know what I'm saying, to actually make the reports. And I'm following them all the way to the courtroom where they're testifying against these people. I'm like walking them through protection orders. And protection orders, we have broken systems. They're not victim centered. And like these people are trying to get protection orders against their abusers. And if they don't have a lawyer, and the abuser doesn't have a lawyer, that person can actually ask them questions. Why do you want this?
Wow.
They represent themselves.
Wow.
So you want to get one, and you got to defend yourself to the person you're trying to get it against.
Wow.
Exactly. Exactly.
Wow. Never knew that.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, time.
I know.
I'm trying to wrap my head around that.
Yeah.
So basically, it's not set up for the victim.
Absolutely not.
At all.
No.
So who's it really helping?
I mean, and that's the thing. I do believe, I get the whole due process. I really do, because of course because that's also my biggest argument. So now that I'm in this field where I'm all about like domestic violence survivors and sexual assault survivors, you know, my always biggest argument is the lying thing. They're like, but you know people lie. You know, they be out here trying to get that person. They just trying to take them under, and I get that. But when I've sat there and saw what I've seen, I'm like, y'all would know. Like this is not, and if a person lying, okay, like for example, that person trying to get a protection order, you don't think them lies gonna unravel? You know what I mean? Like when you sitting there trying to like do that, like no, there's nothing like it. And I saw somebody like, you know, have all this evidence, present this case, and not get it. And like the way that father was broken up, leaving the courtroom, and his baby didn't get, come on, protection when we was trying to do it the right way. Like that was heartbreaking. And I'm like, I feel you. Like you did exactly what you should do.
You're right. You're doing the due process, but sometimes the due process doesn't do right by you.
Amen. Amen. Another word.
Well, I'll give myself that one.
Yeah, exactly. No,
That's my plan.
You heard that one. You heard that one.
No,
Yes.
but I mean, a question to you was like, you're seeing these things firsthand.
Right.
You're helping the victims. And this is, and shout out to you, because I think I know I asked questions of therapists. How do you, as a person, taking this all in, how is it affecting you?
Oh, child, that's an excellent question. I didn't stay forever, unfortunately, because it became taxing. No, it did, and actually, that's one of my introductory episodes to Santana Says. Honestly, was that I learned I was also going to someone that was an unhealthy person, and I was feeling mad fraudulent. Like I'm like, oh yeah, stick up for yourself. Like you know what I'm saying, you deserve better. And then I'm like, yeah, but I'm gonna go ahead and continue to entertain this. And I started learning little by little. I'm telling you, every professional development, I'm like, that sounds familiar though. Like I feel like I'm in that, and I'm like, I'm making those same excuses. Like, is this me? Like you know what I'm saying? Am I doing this too? And I mean, like, how long can I keep this up? Because I'm telling people to walk away from something that I'm continuing to entertain. It didn't sit right. It definitely didn't. And it was somebody that I, had children with. So like it was something that I was like building a family with, and I'm like, nigga, I want the babies. Like, do I want them to see this? Like, I want them to, become future CEOs like my baby wants to do now. And it's like, yo, if I stay in this, like, am I gonna? How's it gonna affect them?
Yeah.
It takes a lot. It takes a lot to finally decide to walk away from that. So,
Right.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Oh, we
Like
did.
you said, you got to be able to teach what you preach. You know.
No,
what I
amen.
mean? So
Yeah.
So it took you being able to look at yourself and realize that you had to come with that change to make a change. That's awesome.
Thank you, though.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it did take time.
So let me ask this, and with that being said, and then let's fast forward because you alluded to it earlier, but then we got Santana says.
Oh yeah.
Yes, that was
And I want to take a moment because I want the people to know, podcast is not easy.
Yeah, right. It's not.
So what led up to you saying I need to have a platform to be able to talk about what's on my heart?
Yeah.
What led to the creation of Santana?
Oh yeah, great question too. Like, I would definitely say agreeing that it's not the easiest thing to do. I know I always wanted to like use my voice, especially once I found it. So I feel like it took me a while to get it, to own it, and I'm like, I want to share it. You know what I'm saying? Like I want to, be able to do that. So because I was like the quietest kid. I know it doesn't.
I'm about to say no. Well, no, time out. She's right because I remember Melissa used to be.
Okay then. See.
Cozy mood. Shea butter and warm sugar is where it's at. Or maybe you're more in a champagne spritz and roses type mood. Whatever the mood, set it with one of these Febreze Air Mist fragrances today.
Thank God I got the validation. Yeah, because I feel like people don't believe.
No,
I swear.
You could have told me.
Yeah. So no, like I was like real internal, and like I had stuff going on at home too. Like my mom, I love her now. You know what I'm saying? She's my bookie, take her everywhere. But we were like, she had been through an abusive relationship too. So like she raised me alcoholic, because that was her vice, but it was also her coping. Like let's be honest, she, therapy. What's the heck is a therapy? You know what I'm saying? But what's up with this Bacardi? You know what I mean? So like it was just an easier thing for her to do, and so I get that now. You know what I mean? And I definitely understand that. But at the time, I can understand that she did. So like it was wild time. In high school when you're already trying to find yourself, and then you don't have that support, from the person that you want it from. So like I just kind of like internalized all that. I always used to blame myself for things. Like it was a lot of that. And so then eventually though I was like, no, I want to be able to like share stories, be able to do things. And I actually thought about the podcast years before I started it. But there's this thing called imposter syndrome. And I was like, me, should I do it? Like, nah, everybody else does that. Like, and they might do it better. So like maybe I shouldn't. So I would tell my friends all about it, and I would talk their ear off. Like, I really want to do that one day, but not today. You know what I'm saying? Like maybe tomorrow. Like, you know what I'm saying? But y'all should do that. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna support, and I would go to everybody's stuff. Like I'm the queen of supporting everybody's things. I'm like, when am I going? But I would do it. I would like, and then shout out to my girl Pierre. So like,
shout out to Pierre.
Oh yeah.
Come on now. Pierre, I'm giving you a podcast. I promise you.
I shouldn't have said it. Yeah, I knew you was going. Yeah. You might get her daughter too, Pace.
No, listen.
New book out. So,
yes, man. Come on now.
Yeah. So we can also get the baby author.
Like I said, where what now?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But that was my girl. And she was definitely somebody I also confided and told her. And so she came across Watts, Mr. Watts.
Shout out to Watts, man.
Yes, he was on the show. Exactly. And I love Sir. He does great work. So he also produces great visuals. And he did a show for her cousin, essentially. So so she knew, she was like, hey, there's this person that so what's up with your excuse now? You know what I'm saying? You should go meet. You should do it. And it is true. And I did sit down with him and I did it again. I was like, oh, but I don't got a logo yet. He like, oh, that's cool. I can help you with that. I don't really know exactly how I'm gonna put it together. He was like, but I do. So you leave him with something. Problem. Yes, he did. And so then I was like, all right, because I promise you, content wise, I do know what I want to do. Like I have that. I do know what I want to talk about. He was like, all right, well then let's make something happen. And he did help me take it to the heights. Yes. Shout out to you, sir.
Yes. So let me ask you this. Let's talk about those first episodes.
Oh.
Boy.
Be the ones.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. My heart was it's racing. I'm like, dude, let me take a breath. Are these people gonna see this? Do they see my heart? Nah, it was super rough. And because I actually got raw and exposed from the beginning. So the first couple episodes is where you really get to know my story. It's also where my solo episodes are longer. I've learned to truncate them because attention spans.
For sure.
A little lower. So I'm like, when I do solos, I make them shorter. When I got guests, obviously we can talk for a little longer. You know what I'm saying? We bouncing off of energy. But no, I used to, just outpour. So I'm just like sitting on there just telling
So
them.
it's kind of like your therapy.
It was. Oh, look how you brought that together.
I therapize.
You did.
Oh,
You learned it everything. Oh, come on with the gold stars. Where the gold stars at? Yeah. Yes. It was. That is so true. Because now, to be honest, and this was before I became a therapist. That's the other thing. I started the podcast before I became a therapist. But now I bring therapeutic principles now. I'm not gonna lie. So it has like enhanced my interview, I would say. But like when I was first doing it, it felt a lot like conversations. Yeah. But I remember feeling like, damn, it felt therapeutic. Though. Like this feels good. Like I feel like we left some things here and we're not taking them with us. Like, you know what I mean? You leave it there. So like it felt really good to be able to do that. And I wanted to model that, like you said, you know what I'm saying, from the beginning. So like if I'm not willing to be honest on my own podcast, then what's good? I'm telling people to come on here and lie. So I need to make sure that I can really like put out there, model what I want them to do.
Okay.
I know that you said that, Watts was able to help you kind of get started and find the creativeness. But what about the name? Did he come up with the name, or did
he did not? That was me. That was me. I'm gonna give him credit. Yes, and then even that I overthought. So like I had the year before I decided to change my name on Instagram first to Santana Says. Like I can't remember. I don't remember if I like something had triggered it. It's also like Simon Says. So that's like the cute thing. But like. Something around it, like, but I thought it was so perfect. Like, I was like, Santana Speaks or Santana something. And like, I just loved it. And Santana itself is also a last name that like I've been able to acquire. But my biological last name is Isaiah. So like, so I actually have different, like roots and spaces. And I love that my stepfather adopted me as he did and gave me, set me up literally with, who knew, with like a whole brand, like a platform, of sorts. So he did that. But I had changed it to that, and I remember coming back to my girl and telling her, like, about all these names I had. I was like, trauma something, talk about it, like something. Like, I had all these different ones, and she was like, what about the Santana Says? Like, why wouldn't you just use that as, your main one? Because you obviously started with that. So I was like, wait, that is true. I could. Why didn't I, think about that? So I was like, yes, that sounds like it's a good way to capture it. We can talk about all these different stuff, but it brings it back to what it's about.
That's good.
So yes.
The name be everything,
Yeah. Once you start with that, what I mean? I know I felt legit after that. I was like, okay.
Now you got a pot.
Got me a shot. Right? I'm for real now.
So I got a question. Because once again, podcast not easy.
No, it's not. Yeah. Let me know.
Do you feel like your skill set of being an educator and being a therapist help you in having better conversation on the podcast?
Oh, yeah.
Or give you a unique perspective?
Yes. And then, you know what? That's an element of the journey that I got to add back in. So in my, in my experience, the other thing that really helped me too was, yes, it would probably be educating them, putting us in front of people and telling us to go speak. You know what I'm saying? Like it helped us to work with jitter. I mean, you can't be soft spoken. You know what I'm saying? So we did a lot of things like that. But what's crazy is even in middle school, so I switched up. Like I had so many different schools. I went from like one school, East Madison to Case to, so where did I go? Immaculate Conception. I went to all these schools. But middle school, I went to St. Francis. And so like little private school. But they had these contests. So I remember being in the civic oration contest where you had to like create speeches and like these other like creative writing. So you're learning how to write, create stories and making them way where people can visualize. But then with the speech contest, they work you because you got to know how to like keep things in a time limit. They count your and your likes and stuff like that. And you're literally having to present that. And so like be rated on all these things in front of all these people. And like, so that was a lot. So I think the speaking started then. So then after that, I was like, oh no, if I can do that, then we good. You know what I'm saying? Give me whatever group, you know what I mean? I'm gonna definitely do what I have to do. And so I keep that. And that's something I get shouted out from Watson them. He's like, you make the editing real easy because you seem to already have, but that's the speaking background. I would definitely say like I brought that into it. And so that helped to actually help it, hone it in.
I don't want to watch the I'm like,
now you gonna look? Right.
I'm it up. Don't be looking at me, Michelle Louise. She over there like,
exactly.
Oh my goodness, don't you sorry. And then the kid probably watching like, said it again.
Exactly.
Said it again.
It's hard though, because we're human.
Yeah.
Oh no, we're human though. So like, no, yeah.
And then being on camera, you like, I'm trying to sound smarter than what I really am.
Exactly.
So I'm like, fine. And then, and then the people understand it's filler words too, because like as you're trying to. So one thing that we don't do in the pull-up experience, we don't have a set of questions. So we're thinking of questions on the fly.
Yeah.
So, you know, we're trying to really question. And then between the question, you're like, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
As I was saying.
Yeah.
And you're trying to think of the next question or whatnot.
No, true.
But that's like, no, we're having organic, real conversations.
Yeah, that's how you know. Yes, absolutely. And I think it's great to use whatever they give you. So that's what I love. And so, like, I think I drive people crazy. The ones that be wanting agendas, I'll be like, sorry, no agenda. What you mean?
No agenda today?
Yeah, exactly. You just pull up.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Oh, no. You know, we gonna all bring it back. You know, we're gonna do that.
Sometimes I have questions. So have you ever had a guest where you like, the therapist and you kicked in like,
oh
yeah, you crazy. I know you can't say that or whatnot.
Yeah, we ain't gonna name names.
Yeah.
But you can't, I was like,
he's in therapy.
You did, yeah. It did. Because they started like going off about things and rambling in a way that I was like, oh, I don't know if that, okay. I mean, I get where your mind, you know what I'm saying, might be going, but yeah, it might have just alluded to like, you might need a little bit of support outside of this space. That's all.
Yeah. You sit in your car like.
Exactly. Me up. Right.
Book that session.
Exactly. Right. Call me. Oh yes, yeah. It does come up.
No, listen. I was about to say because I ain't gonna lie to you. I've been here in the pockets like. I'm not a therapist.
Right.
But
right.
In my expert opinion, I'm crazy.
Yo.
You are that.
Right. Yes.
So, Melissa, what would you say is the most enjoyable part of being a podcaster? What would you say is like the most fulfilling?
Oh man, I would definitely say like getting to meet like dope people, and so like y'all. That's why I'm glad we collaborate. And too is that I just love like putting on like the unsung heroes. Like I just kind of like want to be able to like I love like everybody I've had is local. You know what I'm saying? So like honestly, if they tell me that they can only do virtual, I'm like it's not the same. Like I kind of need to sit down with you know what I mean? I like. Because that's literally like the energy that gets built from it. And I just feel like you can't really replicate the kind of synergy that you get when you with the person, vibing with them. So like, I love doing that. And that's what it's been up until this point. So like, I've been able to have that. And I learned so much about them. So like, what I do is I try to bring people that I just legit love. Like, I'm just like, I'm fans of yours. And like, I love to say that.
That's what we do.
Yeah, exactly. Like, see? So that's why I'm honored. You know what I'm saying? But like, it's such a great way to do that. And so I feel like an in-person way to really get to know someone, but to also celebrate them.
Listen, and it's the greatest network of all time. Like, if it's anybody you wanted to get in the building with, like, so we're a group of introverts.
Yes. Okay. Oh, sure.
You know?
See? We know that.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And I will tell anybody, you want to get somebody in the room that you normally wouldn't get in any other capacity, tell them, hey, come on the podcast, talk about yourself.
Yes. They do love it. It like disarms.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, you're like.
And then we're friends for life.
Right. Exactly.
You didn't even know it. Ha, got you. Gotcha.
Yes. Right. It's a good way to get that.
It really is.
Yeah, like,
they don't even know.
It's actually the best way. You know what I'm saying?
You get a good conversation.
Yeah.
A great story.
Right.
And then you become part of the gang. You didn't even know you're part of the gang. You're part of the gang.
Yeah, exactly. Locked in.
Locked in. Absolutely.
Yes. So I agree.
So let me ask you this. With that being said, I said it again. Thank you, Michelle. You done got in my head. Okay. With podcasting, if there's someone who started out with a podcast, what advice should you give them? Something to avoid starting out with their podcast.
Ooh, well, we are in the world of trends, and so like I actually thought it was really dope. So also as a Puerto Rican, the Bad Bunny album is fire. So I think it's so good, and I feel like people become honorary Puerto Ricans by listening to that album. You know what I'm saying? I done told people, I had my you got to. My friend Sarah was like, "You sure though?" Because she was like, "I was hoping that you would just say that because I've been feeling something." It was a good album. So like, but what I love is that when he made it, that was one of the things he said. He was like, "I feel like a lot of people try to like follow trends. They make really catchy songs. Some of them are like 2 minutes. But he was like, the most popular song of mine is like a 6-minute ballad where I'm basically saying my love for Puerto Rico. Like, that's unmatched. And so like, and I agree with him. Like when I heard it, that's what I felt. He took me back to like my grandparents' house. You know what I'm saying? He's taking me back to like nostalgic places, all these memories that I had not retrieved in so long. And I'm like, dude, somebody, damn, that's an artist. You know what I'm saying? Like, you literally are an artist, what you're doing, but you're also honoring authentically who you are. And I just feel like that's what I would love for like anyone, whatever craft, and if it is podcasting, that first, like, celebrate who you are first. Know who that is. You know what I'm saying? Know who that is. but then also figure out what you do want your message to be.
Good.
You know, so that you don't go against it. You know what I mean? And you can actually stay faithful to it.
Come on now.
So like it does come across in what you do.
That's good. Side question. Puerto Rican Day Parade in Cleveland.
Yes.
I've never seen so many non-Puerto Ricans wear Puerto Rican flags in my life until the Puerto Rican flag I've never used. I'm like, where y'all going? Oh, I know you Puerto Rican. Okay.
Yeah.
It's the same thing with St. Patrick's Day.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
You're Irish, huh?
All of a sudden, but it ain't though. But it ain't. I'm March 17th.
Right.
Oh yeah, especially that one over there. She's the most
Oh,
Irish person I
no, you can't.
Talking about- Oh my gosh.
Oh my gosh.
I mean, I'm saying, but again, it's the trends. You know what I'm saying? But also, you know, like since we doing the Latino thing, what about Cinco de Mayo? Everybody got that sombrero on.
ain't gonna lie, the tequila taco and tequila
Right.
on Cinco de Mayo. I ain't gonna lie, I'll be like that. I feel Puerto Rican today.
I mean,
You know?
yeah. Well, see, no, and then the Cinco de Mayo is supposed to be Mexican.
Look.
See, get them. Get them. Get them. No, yeah, it ain't the same.
No, you're right.
Yeah, you know.
That's
But
true.
it's hilarious because Cinco de Mayo for Mexicans, it's only one town in Mexico, Puebla, that actually celebrates it
Come on.
because it was like a battle that they won. So
Wow.
Mexico as a whole is like, I could care less. Cinco de Mayo is just May 5th.
Come on.
And so like, but Americans was like, we see an opportunity. So
Right.
like, we're gonna go ahead and run with this. And it's very profitable. I mean, we are pulling up to the taco place. So
Oh,
like,
definitely
sure.
you know what I'm saying? We in there deep.
Yes,
you know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
exactly. So it works. You know what I mean? So like, we can't knock them for doing that. Seeing an opportunity and see.
Shout out to Melissa bringing awareness though, you know?
We gonna,
really is. She really is.
Oh man, just a little piece, a little sprinkle. But yes.
Okay. So you talk about the past, talk about the
Yeah.
present, let's talk about the future, madam.
Sure.
What does the future hold for you? What can we expect in the future from you going forward?
Oh, okay. Well, Santana says was a great way. You know what I mean? Like I feel like it's a vehicle. So like the only thing, my thing is though, it's not my only. So like I will say, I love when people do recognize me for that though. So like, you know, including y'all, I appreciate it like so much, and that's what I wanted it for. Because to be honest, all this stuff that I just told you, we're already there. All these passions were there with like the advocacy and the education, prevention. I also love prevention. So like going in, educating students before the healthy relationships start,
Come on
like
now.
come on now, red flags. You know what I'm saying? Come on now, green flags. Like what are we looking for? What are we celebrating? Like what should we look out for? What should we avoid? And like I want to have more conversations around that. So I think Santana says gave me a space to be able to know like that this is what I speak on. But as a result, I want to speak so much more. And so like I would love eventually to, you know, make that's gonna, you know, that's the plan. Actually, we're just gonna have to go ahead and speak it.
Come on
And
now.
we're gonna be getting booked for
Okay.
speaking engagements and so like workshops, and we're gonna do that. And I actually do have an LLC that is the power to be. And so like it's
Come on now.
unlock your power, maximize your existence. So it's just like
Top so.
you should, yeah.
Top so.
So like you should really like be maximizing who you really are. You know what I mean? And that should you really just be living? You know what I'm saying? Or like just surviving? Or should you actually be like thriving and like, you know what I mean, maximizing, you know, that person and really like living a full life?
One of my favorite sermons all the time, TD Jakes said, he is what they call maximizing the moment. He speaks about that very thing, taking what God gave you and maximizing it. And talk about 9 empty.
Yeah.
You know the story of the talents and whatnot, how my man had 1, 2, and then the many.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And how the one, I ain't gonna ruin the story. Spoiler alert.
Right.
The one with the 1 talent, he put in the ground, he didn't do nothing with it. And the master was very upset with him. And I feel like a lot of times we as people do that too often. God gives us one thing, we're not maximizing that thing, and got something that our big talent are maximizing that thing.
Right.
Don't be the one with the 1 talent.
Right. No, definitely. Agreed. You have so much more to offer. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I don't think we always give ourselves enough chances to really see that and own that. And then, like I said, share that with everyone else. So I agree. We got to do that more.
So listen. Stop playing with me. Book Melissa.
You're right.
The one to educate you. Okay? Because I damn sure was like, oh yeah, Cinco de Mayo. Nah, no. And I don't be telling y'all, I'm like, Melissa told me. Santana says.
Right.
Okay?
Future authoress on our hands. So I'm
Yeah.
sure
Thank you.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you.
Yes.
I'm hey, and I'm open because I was like, and somebody said that. Somebody actually had a dream once that I was like doing something like it was either writing or like a new graduation. I was actually on the eve of my master's. I was about to get my master's the next day, and it was like, yeah, I see you in the graduation. I was like, yeah, I'm gonna graduate tomorrow. Good job. You know what I mean? Like you real on it, like you really picked up on it. But it was like, no, this is a different one. So like I don't know if you eventually see yourself writing a book or if you are going to get your PhD or what you're gonna do. But I'm letting you know, like there's a vision for you, and it might be through education. You know, God uses, you know what I'm saying, gifts and all these things. So like, please pay attention to that. So yeah.
Come on.
So.
Come on now.
Right. Exactly.
I see you.
Right. Appreciate it.
So with that being said, y'all know here at the Public Experience we have our simple questions. Everyone is like a snowflake, right? Unique in its way. Being born and raised in Cleveland, we have a unique perspective, right? And being Afro-Latina, you know, you've seen different avenues of Cleveland. With that being said, you are part of so many different collaborations, but unfortunately, Cleveland has the narrative of not being collaborative.
Yeah.
How do you feel like we can change that narrative of Cleveland not being a collaborative place?
Oh man, so we definitely gotta get about these silos that we operate in for sure.
Like the word silo.
Yeah. Please don't. And I mean, I stole it from somebody that I heard, and I was like, well, it is good. So go on, let's pass it down. But agreed though, and I feel like because we get comfortable, you know what I'm saying, with what we have exactly, and we get protective. So I get that. Like I think that we shouldn't want to like, you know, give it out too much and feel like, you know what I'm saying, we're exposing or we're sharing too many of ourselves, but we also don't want to underestimate, you know what I'm saying, or under deliver and also like sell ourselves short from an opportunity that can really help us advance. So it's just like, because I'm also really big on, so like, interesting that you said TD, but also Sarah Jakes, right, had a really great,
Come on now, Jakes
exactly. Yeah. But she had this really cool like Women Evolve conference, and she had this one lady there, Anita Phillips, I believe is her name. So like, but she was talking about the Garden of Eden, and so she was like, you know, planting. And I think like in the garden that we have and we operate from within our bodies and in the world. But I also am really big on seeds. So I'm like, to me, I'm like, and I use it in therapy a lot. I'm like, okay, well, this is a seed. I'm just gonna give it to you. You can reject it, you know what I mean? But I'm gonna put it right here. You know what I'm saying? If you're gonna pick it up if you want to. But if you do like it, plant it. You know what I'm saying? You should grow it, you know, and cultivate it. And the thing is, you need a lot of different elements for that to grow. You know what I'm saying? The plant can't just grow by itself. Like it has to be spoken to. Yes, water, the sun plays its part. Like there's so much. So I feel like we can do that more. And I think we have a lot of people that are ready to do that in Cleveland. There's some that maybe are not and are apprehensive. I haven't met those people, you know, but I think there are a lot of great. I even last night was on with our previous guest from episode 274. I just saw him last night. You know, so like,
Eddie.
Yes, exactly. From Breakthrough. You know what I mean? So like, and they have put a great event. Shout out to also Alicia Ellis. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah, shout
you already know.
The big homie.
You super.
The big homie.
I mean, for sure. Goes. So like, and they do it, and they're creating. And honestly, that energy was so dope. Like just whenever you put a whole bunch of creatives in a room, come on now, you ain't gonna leave inspired a little bit. Like what you lukewarm up here? No, like you gonna get something, you know what I mean, from it. But I think it's great, and we need more of that. And I like seeing that and being a part of that kind of electric energy.
Come on now. And I don't know. I feel like right now we're in like a renaissance, right?
Yeah.
Because you got the breakthrough sounds. You got lounges. You
have, lounges. I
you know what I'm saying? We have the different places. It's like I like the fact that you got a podcast, you got a podcast, and another person got a podcast, but we're still all working together.
Correct.
You know what I'm saying?
Right. Yes, and then we can offer so many things. So agreed. I'm glad you said lounges, because even, you know, like, what you call it, Mr. Good old, you know, AJ, Adam Jackson, like, he puts on, like, so many different, like, so many people are able to, like, grow their businesses, you know what I'm saying, in there, if they want to just do pop-ups. Lacey has done, you know what I mean, work. But yeah, exactly, and so many people like sharing their spaces. And one of the people that I was supporting last night at the event was JP, who has a community garden, so speaking of gardening, right, and planting. That man, my thing is, he done made a garden. He also DJs, like, he does all this stuff. So I'm like, dang, what don't you do? But it's just like, he has this thing, and I thought the coolest part of it was that he likes sharing it, though. Like, his main thing was not that I want to make this thing and it look good and people can see it, but like, he loves when people come. I tried to, like, he was the hardest person to donate for, because he was just like, no, I just want you to come. I just want you to be a part of it. And I'm like, no, I want to, like, build into this. I'm telling you that I see it and I want to show you support. So, like, but no, he's such a humble person that, like, JP, all the accolades for sure. And, like, has his
JP.
Right. Like, definitely is another one that, like, really has a gift and really wanted to share it. I love that.
And I feel like as millennials, because we're getting older, I feel like we're like super part of Renaissance. Cause I feel like the older, no offense to older generation, but like It was more like, I'm going to hoard over here. I'm going to stay over my silo.
Yes.
You know?
Right.
And we're all like, bump that. Come over here.
You're right. Exactly.
Over here. You know?
Right.
And like, we're all coming together.
Yes.
And I love it. And I just see Cleveland just becoming a hub for creatives.
Yeah.
You know?
Yes, absolutely. I think, agreed. I think, and we have a lot of arts and culture. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Our city is colorful.
Oh, we culture as hell over here.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying. We have like dope brands. Ilthy is like, come on. You know what I'm saying? So like it exudes. I also love the cute power couple that is Glenn Infante and Natalia Alas, you know what I'm saying? Who is Dahlia Coffee. I think it's so cute. You know what I'm saying? I think such a power couple that, you know, he has his great graphic design work, which he helps her do for her coffee business. Mm-hmm. Her coffee business is already dope. So they're already like dope forces. They just don't happen to be together. Mm-hmm. So I'm just like, I love seeing that. And they're so Cleveland to me. You know what I'm saying? Like they are what we talking about. You know what I'm saying? Just humble roots and like great open hearts that just love. You know what I'm saying? Have love for our city.
Come on, man. Come on the podcast. Stop playing.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay. With that being said, madam, who would you like to collaborate in the future? Because in my crazy mind, I believe they're watching our podcast.
Okay.
What entity, corporation, organization you would like to collaborate with in the future?
Oh man, so I would definitely say, and also shout out to Revolt Podcast Network. So I am also, part of the part of that was that a few of us got signed. I am one of the podcasts that have been signed. So appreciate y'all. Forgot to mention, So yes, exactly. So yes. So them, thankfully, I get to say, we already have, but I would love for that to grow, and enhance. Mm-hmm. But so with all this speaking and stuff, my other little passion is that I actually love like TV and so like radio and things like that. Mm-hmm. So like I would love to become a personality and like dream. You know what I'm saying? Like the ultimate is that one of my people that I role model is Issa Rae, because like when I was in T for America, I had no cable. You know what I'm saying? So we was stuck in. So like we had nothing, and we were like, I remember watching YouTube was it? You know what I'm saying? So I had YouTube. The Diary of, like the Awkward Black Girl series that she had back in the day. Low production.
Nah, you're bringing it all the way back.
Yes, that's all I want her to know. I'm a real fan. So Issa, you know what I'm saying? Real fan.
I know you watch Issa Rae.
Exactly, and so it's just like, and what she's been able to build is amazing to me. She got like a whole network now. She's like Tyler Perry status. It's just like, it's amazing. And it's dope to see her, like a black woman, but on top of that, like from these humble beginnings, you know what I'm saying? She done worked off, you know what I'm saying, literally to get where she is. So I feel like she deserves everything, and if I can learn from her or just be in the same room, whatever, like it'll be amazing. It'll be amazing.
Issa Rae,
you know what I'm saying? It was Melissa, good. Yes.
Collaboration.
You know what I mean?
I see it happening.
Right.
Therapy. Oh no, I already said it wrong already. We named that.
Right.
Name the show that.
Right. Exactly. Right.
Therapy stuff or something like that.
Right. Yes.
You're doing free.
Thank you.
Right.
How
sweet.
Right.
Well, listen, we are having a time with you, okay? Literally, we've learned so much. We've been able to learn about your journey and culture, and I'm sure those that are, listening and watching also the same. So when we talk about legacy for you, we know this is going to be grand. But what would you like? What do you foresee your legacy to be for yourself as an individual, but also for Santana Says and all of your other business ventures down the road?
It's such a good question, but you also just be like, man, that was the one that like really makes you think. Yeah. Is that and because I'm also a mom, so like as a mom, you're like emotional. Yes, exactly. Right? You be like, oh, for the babies, man, for the little mini me's. And all my kids, because I do work in a high school, like they always are like, they're your little mini me's, like for sure. Yeah, they love them more than me. I'm like, hold on. But like for them, for all the kids, I feel like they're coming up, for everybody that's trying to do something. I just feel like I would love for them to see me as somebody that was a healer. You know what I mean? So there's somebody that liked to bring light, somebody that encouraged, you know what I'm saying, as somebody that was able to like empower, because in a place that doesn't always celebrate you on that forces you to maybe think you need to fit a certain mold or you got to be someone else or do something else. I want you to be you.
Come on
bad.
Now.
Like, I want you to love that person, you know what I mean? Love yourself the way, you deserve, you know what I'm saying, to really be loved and let other people see that. You know what I'm saying? And let them catch up to the amazingness that you really are and that gift that you are. Because, yes, absolutely.
Y'all catch up.
You're right. Please, I would love for them to know that.
It's a great legacy.
Yes, amazing legacy. So listen, not only are you, touching us, blessing us tonight, but like I said, you're also blessing those that are watching and listening as well, because I'm sure that they have gotten so much from, just hearing your journey, hearing your walk, and just seeing where you're going from here. You know what I mean? So when we have to take what we've talked about tonight, or maybe what you haven't talked about, and bring it into 3 key points, what should someone watching or listening be able to take away tonight?
I would just say, first of all, is to again own your identity. You know what I mean? And so like, who you are, and again, whatever again the messaging, whatever your craft is, and your journey, and own that piece. So like your experiences and all the things that made you who you are. I would say be teachable, and so like don't be without, because in the midst of what I said, and some of it is that there was a lot of mentors that I had along the way. And so there were a lot of people that helped me learn and take things to better heights. And it was invaluable, the lessons that they gave me. And I feel like, being able to do that, and also like continue to consider your audiences as well. And so know that like what their needs are, like be able to like tap into that, but also create genuine connections with them as well. And so being able to make sure that you're responding, to what's around, and being able to like respond to gaps or any other things that you are doing, but also knowing that relationships matter. And so like being able to know that that's part of the game, and that you're not just doing this by yourself.
Nice. Lovely.
That's
great.
Awesome
takeaways, yes.
All takeaways.
Thank you.
Y'all have been part of this reunion. That's all.
Right. Oh yeah.
Y'all's happen to be here.
Right.
We can't thank you enough, Melissa. And
you.
we see great things ahead for you.
Thank you.
And this is my most important question of the whole interview. Where can people learn more about you? Where can they book you? Where can they learn more about history?
Right. Exactly.
And be more aware of all that good stuff. Where can they learn all that?
Thank you. I would definitely say right now, that's why I do love the platform that I have. Santana Says is where I would say to find it now. The Power to Be is coming. So like I have more that's coming with that. So I actually have a website that's being built. Okay. And so on the Santana Says platforms, you'll be able to learn about it. You'll be the first one to know like one that's officially launched and all of that. Because I also want to do more like love leadership too. So like that's the takeaway. So like leading, yeah. Okay. Leading, I feel like we should lead more with love. You know what I'm saying? And so like we should definitely like build those like, actually like connections. Oh yeah, exactly. And so being able to actually like support one another, you know what I'm saying, and really like pour into them and really, show that love first. And so I want that to be part of like the messaging. And so for now, Santana Says is like my main. So I have Santana Says podcast at gmail.com is the email. The Instagram and TikTok is like Santana Says with one underscore. Somebody else made me to Santana Says. But
Santana?
Yeah, somebody else. And when I looked, it was somebody that had like 3 balls. I was like, boys, get it away. Like, let me get that. Right. But Santana Says with the one. And then there is a fan page on Facebook as well. So wherever you need to find me, you know what I'm saying? LinkedIn, wherever. But like, there's a way. And I would love to connect.
Yes, ma'am. So listen, guys, as you watch the episode, boom, right there in the middle. I mean, down here, boom. Watch it. It's right there. All her links, if you guys want to book her, hit her up, learn more, and be able to view Santana Says, will be right there in the show links. Okay, guys? Yes. Thank you so much, man.
Thank you. I had a good time.
Awesome.
I was about to say, how does it feel being asked the questions?
I know, it's cool. Hot seat for real. I got a little hot though. Sweating. But it was good. It was fun. And y'all made it a great time.
Good. Okay.
Yes, you did. Yes, you did.
Job well done.
Exactly. Yes. Right.
Yes.
Did that.
Thank you so much, madam. So we got to do part 2. We'll pull up to Santana Says.
Right, there you go.
Yeah, okay.
There you go. That'll be the best. See weighing.
Yes, ma'am. So real quick, guys, we got to pay some bills. Guys, February 16th at 3 o'clock, we'll be at the 4 Bistro, and we'll be making love. I'm sorry, we're going to make people fall in love.
Who's gonna be making love?
We hope people fall in love.
Hey,
Sing entrepreneurs. We're going to be creating an entrepreneur dating game, guys. We're going to take, if you guys watch the old school dating game, we got 1 bachelor and 3 bachelorettes. We're going to have 1 bachelorette and 3 bachelors. And the premise is that they understand that being an entrepreneur is not easy.
Yeah.
And finding love is even harder. Right. So we have done the hard part, and we'll bring them together. And they're going to choose from these amazing bachelors and bachelorettes who they want to choose, and they get to choose one of the incredible days we have set up for them. It's going to be a good time. So you want to be the audience. And man, you might even find you a boo. Stop playing.
Hey.
And guys, do me a favor. Go to the link. Get your tickets because they're still 2 for 1, but they are. I want to end this soon because I don't want the to be too packed in there. So yes, get tickets now, guys. We want to see you there.
And make sure you guys check out my podcast, Beauty Told. Again, taking it to new heights because not only myself, my baby, she growing. And the nice collaboration with Bree with Overflow Studios, making it so much better, so much better. And so you guys are going to notice that change, but still bring it the same with our stories that my guests and I are just taking topics, relationship topics, and just really taking them, expounding on them. The whole overall goal, y'all, is so that y'all can have a change. So if our story was well told on Beauty Told, we know that we did a job well done. So I can't wait to see you guys there. So make sure y'all tap in, subscribe, and I'll see y'all there.
If you rock with us, you rock with me. Stop playing with me.
That's right.
And y'all see that light right there was Steve.
Hey, I know.
The greatest of all time. Right,
it was
real
like,
quick.
boom, red.
Right. Pink, wow. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to my man Steve, y'all. So listen, guys, you like stuff like that.
Yes.
And you like what Steve is doing, him and Brie are going to be teaching on it for Podcast 102. They are going to be we're going to be at Creative Space, guys. They're going to be teaching on, yes, March 1st, yes, at Creative Space. Yes. And they're going to be teaching on lighting. They're going to be teaching on editing. They're going to be teaching on how to use what you got.
Hey, get them angles right.
Use that iPhone. Use that busted Android. Whatever you got to create that podcast, they're going to show you how to do it.
Right.
So you want to make sure you're in the room because as we are in other pool experience, we feel that the future of your business, services, or brand is podcast. How do people get to know who you are? How do people get to know your authority in your field? It's on the podcast, and we, the pool experience, are going to teach you how to do it. So be in the building, guys.
Amazing team.
Yes,
make sure you guys tap in. So speaking of Bree with Overflow Studios, Steve with Alien Eyes, not your average agent, you put your regular schmegular.
Me?
No, somebody else, not Sam, the hostess of the mostest. Nakia, the greatest winemaker in the world, whose place we are at every single week for y'all.
Grand Old Sam, coming soon.
Wait, Michelle, and I'm not about to do the middle name. I got you, girl.
Louise.
With MJM. So y'all make sure y'all tap into these different businesses. Make sure y'all find what y'all need. Y'all have so many resources packed down there. So make sure y'all, again, click on them. Take advantage of them. I'm telling y'all, you would not be disappointed.
Gang.
Absolutely.
Yes. Come on now. And lastly, guys, we want to thank you, the person watching, you, the person listening. Because as of right now, currently we are 8.2 million views and 19.5 thousand subscribers. And I say that not as being boastful, but to say God is good. And that you guys want to hear great stories like Melissa's. Yeah. And you guys like our little city called Cleveland. Okay? Yep. And the stories that come out of it. And we cannot take that for granted, nor do we take it for granted. And we're just very appreciative of the subscribes, the share, the likes, and the comments of the support that you guys give us each and every week. And guys, we are on the road to 300. If someone else is a 300 episode, I like to meet them. But I feel like we're making history in the city. So yes, guys, we move on. Thank you, and thank you for keeping us motivated to keep doing this thing God has called us to do. So guys, we will see you next time. Peace.